You won't believe it. In 2006, 6 men in Argentina pulled off one of the most outrageous bank heists in history, and they used pizza to trick an entire city's police force. But in the end, one woman, with just one sentence, brought them all down. This story begins a few years earlier in a small bar in Argentina. Fernando Araujo and his friend Beto de la Torre were having drinks and discussing past bank robberies, mocking how so many of them failed because of careless amateur mistakes. But while Beto laughed it off, Fernando took the idea seriously, very seriously. That night, he went home and began binge-watching documentaries and films about real-life bank heists. He took notes, studied blueprints, and slowly began to design the perfect robbery. But he quickly realized he couldn't do this alone. His plan focused on a wealthy bank in San Isidro, Buenos Aires, the Banco Río. It was known to hold valuables for Argentina's richest citizens. Cash, gold, diamonds, locked behind heavy vault doors. But Fernando had a problem. He had no clue how the vaults were structured, what the layout of the building was, or how strong the security systems were. He needed a map, and soon he found someone who sold him exactly that. Not just the bank's blueprint, but also the city's entire underground drainage system. It was a jackpot. A large sewer line ran right under the bank and connected to a river hundreds of meters away. It could be used either for entry or escape. Fernando reached out to Beto again. Beto, a mild-mannered man who ran a small hardware shop, had a secret talent. He was a master with tools, engines, and precision machinery. If anyone could build custom drills and tunnel through a sewer unnoticed, it was him. At first, Beto hesitated, but in post-2001 Argentina, after a severe economic collapse, millions had lost trust in banks. Accounts were frozen, savings wiped out, and people were desperate. Beto was one of them. He agreed to join. They began recruiting. 4 more men with specialized skills and 1 anonymous backer who funded the entire operation. They built custom tools, bought disguises, prepared inflatable boats, and even arranged a getaway van parked above a manhole. Over the next several months, Beto began digging a tunnel from the sewer line toward the bank's underground vault. Meanwhile, he also opened a small account at another bank branch, just to learn how their vault doors worked so he could practice lock-picking at his shop. Finally, on January 13th, 2006, the heist began. At exactly 12:38 p.m., 3 robbers stormed into Banco Río shouting, "This is a robbery! Everyone on the ground!" Fernando had already blended into the crowd, disguised with a gold wig. Beto was waiting underground inside the tunnel. Another team member, Sevilla, parked a fake broken-down van above a manhole for their escape. By 12:50 p.m., the silent alarm had alerted police. SWAT surrounded the building. Negotiators set up. TV cameras arrived. The entire city watched in real time. Inside, the robbers appeared disorganized, yelling, waving guns, panicking. One of them, calling himself Walter, even approached the front door to talk to police directly. He told them, "We're considering surrendering, but first, can we order some pizza?" The police, thinking they had a bunch of amateurs cornered, agreed. They ordered 20 pizzas. But what they didn't realize, the pizza wasn't for hunger. It was for time. They had calculated 1 pizza, 15-20 minutes. 20 pizzas, 2-3 hours. While police waited for food and negotiated, Beto and another robber were downstairs, inside the vault, drilling and cracking open safe deposit boxes. They grabbed as much cash, gold, and jewelry as possible, stuffing bags full of millions. Then, at around 4 p.m., all 6 robbers gathered in the basement slipped through the hole into the sewer tunnel and disappeared. At 5 p.m., police stormed the bank, but the robbers were long gone. All they found was a note. In a neighborhood of rich people without weapons or grudges, it's just money, not love. The gang had escaped in an inflatable raft through the sewer, reached the getaway van via the manhole, and vanished with $20 million worth of loot. It was the perfect crime. Until it wasn't. The twist? A few months later, Beto's wife discovered he was cheating on her. Heartbroken and furious, she went straight to the police and told them everything. Search warrants followed. Beto was arrested, and the rest of the crew quickly fell like dominoes. Police recovered part of the stolen fortune, and all 6 men were sentenced to prison. They spent months digging, planning, and outsmarting the system, but in the end, it took just one angry woman to bring it all crashing down. Chill kill, perfect crime, perfect plan. Perfect until love got involved. Subscribe for more real crime stories that sound too crazy to be true.